What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about Virgin Galactic. It's been a while since I've done a Virgin video, but I want to go over some of the current data points, what's been coming out from the company itself, and what next week might look like. Before I get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And with that, let's get right to it. Starting off, Virgin did go down 6.23% on Friday. A good amount of volume though, so 57.7 million shares being traded, 34.9 is the average. Although that 57 is somewhat misleading, because if someone did see that, they would assume that larger institutions were paying attention to Virgin, and that wasn't necessarily the case. Majority of the volume, in fact, was linked to algorithmic trading and not necessarily institutions getting in, because as you can kind of see right here, these are all the transactions that have occurred on the secondary market over the last 90 days. So last time any institutions did any large transactions was on May the 14th, and obviously that's when the whole meme craze was going definitely up. So Virgin was somewhat participating in that, and so institutions as a byproduct were really kind of getting in. So you did see on that day one sell transaction first thing at 5 a.m. at around $1.20, and then a second transaction, a buy at $1.39. So it was definitely squeezing that stage, but night and day difference where it is now, because as of right now it is sitting at 68 cents. So on Friday there was a new 52-week and all-time low created for Virgin, but definitely next week might change. In case you do not know, there was a shareholder meeting that did take place on the 12th. Everything was passed, I do believe, including the reverse stock split, and they already did announce that effective Friday after hours, so that's obviously Monday effective, that's where they're going to be doing a 1-for-20. So in theory, just right off the bat, if someone didn't know what was happening, maybe took 1 week off, they'd wake up and Virgin is going to be roughly around $13 and change. And shorts have really been doubling down over this last little bit, so I'm going to talk about what they might do and everything else. So I'm going to go over some of the other updates, starting off right here. So some of the latest SEC filings. So you do have this 8K that goes over and summarizes the shareholder meeting, and including the whole 1-for-20 reverse stock split, which was determined by the board. As well, on Thursday, you do have a lot of these Form 4s. And so even though it was rubber stamped and approved on the 12th at that shareholder meeting, you already had Virgin given all the directors roughly around 146,000 shares, as you can kind of see right here. So transaction code A, meaning it was awarded. So yeah, this is just not good. It does not look good coming from like the company standpoint. And yes, this was approved, so it's not really blindsiding investors, but just the timeliness. Literally the day after their shareholder meeting, they issue all these Form 4s. It just kind of shows that they're trying to milk like Virgin for as much as they can. So I think, again, just the timeliness of this is just absolutely horrific. But what do I know, right? I'm not a financial advisor. You guys do your own due diligence. Aside from that, the only good piece of news that did come out was on June the 8th, and Virgin Galactic completes 12th successful space flight. So I think they're really good. Operationally, they're doing good. They're burning through a ton of cash, which obviously results in a lot of dilution. And as I pointed out in the past, 2024 has been absolutely relentless and kind of damaging any stock that isn't profitable and reliant on dilution. So Virgin's been following, or kind of under that umbrella right now. And like I said, these Form 4s, even though it was approved, it's a very bad image. So let me know your thoughts on that. One thing that actually came out of left field, before I go over shorts and some of the other data points, there was oddly a bullish analyst rating that came out yesterday. So it was TD Cowen. Oliver, who has a 52% success rating, gave a $2 price target. So this is where, yes, coming from today's current share price, which is at 68 cents, that is extremely bullish. But I don't know, like, this was done yesterday, so is that meant for kind of factoring in the reverse stock split? Because with the reverse stock split, it's going to be $13. Are they saying $2 with the $13 price target, like post or pre reverse stock split? Especially it was submitted on the day that the reverse stock split is being enforced. So it's kind of gray, but regardless, I don't really know, like, given the circumstances, there wasn't really anything that came out that would really cause a analyst to come out and be extremely bullish and prompt a buy rating. Because as you can kind of see, based on all the previous ratings, there's been no buys, a lot of holds, a lot of sells. Subtracting this one, because this one is bringing up the average, there is currently a consensus of around $1.84, and that does represent a 168.65% upside. So pretty interesting stuff. And just to give you a quick overview of the Elliott Wave technicals, and of course starting on Monday, all of this is going to change because of the reverse stock split. Just keep in mind mentally that the Elliott Wave technicals were projecting roughly a 50% pull down in the stock price, even going into the reverse stock split, because it did have a pivot point of 87 cents. So for as long as Virgin is below that, then it is anticipated to kind of hit between that 31 and 40 cents. And for those of you that have been following my channel, these predictions have been 100% on point. 100%. Just kind of, you can look back. I have not removed any Virgin videos one bit, so you guys can always go through. Even several months ago when I was saying that Virgin is going to be going down the route of a reverse stock split, well, here we are. Although I did anticipate more of a higher ratio, more specifically, I think a 1 for 50. So kind of a positive thing that they did a 1 for 20 somewhat. So take that with a grain of salt, of course. But moving on from here, going over what shorts did on Friday, they did increase 1.16 million shares. 27.78% of the free float is being shorted. That works out to be 105.16 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is 4.93%, and then utilization is 86.36. As I've brought up in the past, I'll bring this up only to analyze this information. Definitely not saying that Virgin is a squeeze play by any means. And in reality, and I know this is going to really bum some people out, but historically, whenever a company does a reverse stock split, it doesn't actually fix the underlying sentiment or the issue at hand. So shorts, no doubtably, are going to probably double down, as usually what does happen. It would be really nice if Virgin came out with some very, very positive news, or more specifically with their upcoming earnings, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. And on a side note, I think these Form 4s that did come out, I know I've already brought this up, but this is very, very telling coming from the company's standpoint, that they are very anxious and kind of fast to issue shares out. So not necessarily the best, if you ask me. Moving on though, looking at options, $108,000 in calls, 1.79 million in puts. Sentiment wise, 52% of all the options being done on Friday were optimistic, but with shorts increasing that amount, that was just clearly shorts just hedging their bets just in case Virgin in the foreseeable future does go up. And here going forward, if you guys do currently have Virgin options, whether it be calls, puts, or whatever else, with that 1 for 20 reverse stock split, depending on your broker, every broker is going to handle things differently. So your current options, you will no longer be able to buy more of those specific chains because of that reverse stock split. You'll only be able to either exercise them or sell them. So just kind of be aware of that. And depending on your broker, they will do different variations. So sometimes they might kind of change the ratio of the shares that is issued or the strike price. So again, just contact your broker and they'll be able to easily break that down. But going forward right here with it at 68 cents, it is between this S3 and this S2. So obviously, like I mentioned with that Elliott Wave technicals, it is projecting for it to hit that $31 range, or 31 cents, sorry. And yeah, based on even just the support and resistance points, it no doubtably was going to hit this S3 sooner rather than later, and then that would prompt the Elliott Wave technicals to come to fruition. But again, with Monday, the whole reverse stock split, I'll go over maybe a video on Tuesday/Wednesday, just to give you an overview of some of the current support and resistance points at that stage, and as well some just general updates on some of the data points. So all in all, I do anticipate Virgin to continue to trend down. That reverse stock split is going to really help them in the short term, for at least with the New York Stock Exchange. But all in all, it's I feel like it's just kicking the can down the road. That saying, Virgin itself does need to fix itself, and it needs to do it sooner rather than later. If not, then they're going to be going down a second reverse stock split, that whole territory. So it could get very much bad to worse. The company needs to get their shit together, pardon my French. So let me know your thoughts. Give yourself a shout out if you have been buying, or did you sell recently? Like, what have you been doing with Virgin? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it, and they give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. Kick-ass deal. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.